From Washington to Hollywood and right back to Wisconsin. It's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. Connecting the dots on the stories shaping our world with smart takes, sharp humor, and plenty of personality.
I really expected more professional behavior from you.
It's news and culture without the noise.
Yeah, I'm on.
Here's Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
Dude.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Nite Lite. I am Pete Schwaba, joined here by my co-host, Mr. Greg Bach, who is in... Now, you're in Racine tonight, right, Greg, at Radio Park?
Yes, I'm usually in Racine 99.989% of the time.
Occasionally, you like to pop over to Phoenix and do the show from there. That's fine.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
Do you remember where I am?
You were in Christmas City, USA, Marinette, Wisconsin.
I knew it.
And
Finally.
then there's the guy in Madison, his name, what is his name?
Ooh, that was close. The part is right.
I spend so much energy remembering Christmas City, USA that I pushed.
You got nothing left for Dom.
Nothing. Oh, Dom, that's it. Yeah, Dom.
There it is, yep.
Dom Lee.
Dom Lee.
We are the Otter Hay Triangle, and we are bringing you Nite Lite tonight, and it is our pleasure to do so. Thank you for being here, folks. We have a great Tuesday night here in store for you, whether you're driving home or you're already home and, fixing yourself an old-fashioned or whatever it is. Spend a couple hours with us and let us inform and hopefully bring a smile to people's faces. That's what we try to do here, right, Greg?
I absolutely agree. And also, if you want to fix yourself a new-fashioned, go do that. I don't know what that means. It's whatever you mean and whatever you want.
Listen,
Enjoy.
I think there could be a market for that. You just put a little twist on it, and all of a sudden we're like, we're not tyrants. We're moguls. We're
Tyrants? Well, there's a fine line between a mogul and a tyrant, so we would want to, walk it gingerly and be careful. But yeah, absolutely. I can feel the money rolling in right now, especially after I just paid a bunch of money to the government. So please, more money. Thank you.
Dude, I would love the opportunity to be a tyrant if I could. I'd like to think I wouldn't be. But if I can make enough money to tell all my friends to beat it and get some new friends, that is living, kid.
I'm sorry, but I just think, Pete, you'd be a terrible tyrant. You're too nice.
Too good a guy. Come on.
You'd say, get off my property. Oh, stick around. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You need a soda? You need something to drink? I got stuff in the fridge. It's fine. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
That is exactly what I'm like. I'm glad you said that, Greg. You know me so well. So you paid your taxes today, I guess is what you're saying.
Yeah, we did our taxes this past weekend. We actually got a little bit of a refund from the state. We got paid to the federal, and this is actually better than most years. Most years it washes out. We'll either make a little bit of money, and when I say a little, I mean $14, and we have to pay to the Fed. This year we got a little bit more, which is nice. It goes right into the savings, but they're done. So
yeah, that's good. That's a relief.
Yeah, I love paying my taxes when other people don't have to.
I said this recently on the show. Yeah, that sucks. But there were years where if I had a good year and I had to pay more, it hurt. But I still felt somewhat patriotic. I thought, yes, this is all going to stuff we need to make our country function. And I didn't really have a problem with that.
As you really shouldn't. I mean, to me, I don't know.
I don't want to overpay. I'm not saying that.
Well, no, I don't want to overpay either, but there is a fantastic quote from Oliver Wendell Holmes, former Supreme Court justice. He said, taxes are the price you pay for living in a civilized society.
Exactly.
And it's not advocation for overtaxing. It's not advocating, tax loopholes. It's just simply saying you want to live here and you want to live a quality life. Well, it comes with a certain amount. It comes with a price. On the other side of that conversation, I would say then that our taxes being paid creates a contract between us and our country, and they should do more for us than, say, raise our gas prices and bomb other countries we didn't ask them to. But that's a whole other conversation, friends, because it's Tuesday on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
And I just want to put a button on that. The other thing is those T-shirts where people walk around and say taxation is theft. I'm like, well, I can't afford my own police force or my own roads. So what is the alternative there? I don't understand that.
There's never a safe alternative. Privatize everything. That's also a conversation I can get into if you'd like. That would absolutely ruin the fun of Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
If I could just say another downer thing.
Cats are the worst. I'm just kidding.
We do have a great show tonight, folks. We've got two great guests. I'm very excited, too, because we're talking I love that we talk about a lot of show business. That's great, and some current events. But we have our first guest, Dr. Donald Shih, DDS. Yes. He is a PhD professor of oral health sciences at the University of Washington. He's going to talk to us about the importance of fluoride, because there has been some pushback and people say it's bad for you. It's not funded. They don't want to. Well, we'll get into all of it with Dr. Shih. And I don't like going to the dentist necessarily, but I'm going to love this conversation.
Yeah. And in the second hour, we're talking to Dr. Susan Kearns, who is the executive director of Milwaukee Film, discussing this week's beginning of the Milwaukee Film Festival. Starts on Thursday, which brings me to another point. In the second hour, day 2 of our Win Your Way into the Milwaukee Film Festival Text to Win contest, where you have an opportunity to win an all-access pass to this year's festival. And if you want to know what a great deal it is, stick around in the second hour, because Dr. Susan Kearns talks about what you get when you get an all-access pass to the Milwaukee Film Festival. So make sure you stick around for that. That's coming up in the second hour. And before we get to anything else, really quick, we had Dan Schaefer on the show last night. He is the founder of the Recombobulation Era. He is an editor here at Civic Media. He was going to be having an event this evening at Anodyne Coffee in Walker's Point, Milwaukee, to celebrate 414 Day. Today is April the 14th. It was going to be a big event. They have postponed it due to inclement weather that's coming through that area. So it will not be happening tonight, but they will announce a rescheduled date soon. We just want everyone to be safe. Again, if you are affected by weather right now, I know where I'm living, there is a tornado watch until later this evening. So just make sure you're safe. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and look or stay tuned for the postponement or the rescheduled date for this Recombobulation Area event at Anodyne Coffee.
You can celebrate Milwaukee any day.
Yeah, exactly.
Be safe. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. We are going to, so we've got 2 doctors on tonight, which is very exciting. I was a solid C student, so I'll bring that to the conversation. And Dom, how are you doing tonight, Dom?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Again, Madison's pretty dark right now.
That's what I hear.
Storms are coming, so I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the show. All right, I'm taking that all out. I'm excited for the show.
My grandpa used to say, "I think there's going to be weather." That's what he would say when you thought there was going to be bad weather. Can we make another announcement too right now? I think
we should.
Time. Okay, can I get some timpani for this one, Dom?
Yeah, this is big.
Because Thursday is another edition of the Nite Lite Movie Club, and we are about to announce our movie. You can watch it and take part in the conversation, but here is the movie for this Thursday's edition of the Movie Club. Give me the timpanis. Oh, tension. There's tension. When Harry Met Sally is our movie for this week's Movie Club, directed by Mr. Rob Reiner, R.I.P. We'll be talking about that movie, talking about its history, some trivia, giving our thoughts. So if you haven't watched it, my goodness. But if you haven't, watch it. If you've watched it before, watch it again. Keep up with us. Get a part of the conversation, and we'd love to have you. But that will be the film choice of the Nite Lite Movie Club for this week, When Harry Met Sally, this Thursday in the second hour. So.
A great choice. And you got Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan, and I'll say this too, Greg, Rob Reiner's mom has a very unique cameo in the film. Yes. So we can talk about that on Thursday as well. But yeah, be part of the fun, folks. Join our movie club. We had a great discussion the last couple weeks. We did Sandlot and The Gentleman. And this week, as Greg mentioned, Harry Met Sally. Those are great movies. And that'll be fun Thursday night in the second hour. But I think we should probably get to our Nite Lite question of the night. What do you say, fellows?
I agree.
Sweet.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
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 Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Question.
Questions.
What is your favorite game show?
There you go.
There's some classics. There's some newer ones on cable, but what game show do you love? Share your favorite game show with us tonight, folks. 855-752-4842. 855-75-CIVIC, and let us know what you think. I'm actually excited to share my favorite game show because I think a lot of people might say Jeopardy, but there's so many good ones.
Yeah, there's lots of great ones. There's one in my head that I don't hope that I'll say it regardless. It's like to this day when I see it on TV, I still watch it, even old reruns. So there's actually 2, but I will pick between my kids and find my favorite game show.
Awesome. Dom, you got to start thinking too, buddy. You know, game shows aren't like as big a thing now as they were, but you got to be part of this. So we'll get to your text throughout the show. And
I like how you prepped Dom.
Well,
we will ask you a question later.
Be prepared.
But I don't think game show, they're not as prevalent. Like they're on cable, it seems like more. There's still some on syndication, Wheel of Fortune, and Jeopardy, obviously. But
and now you've got all these. Well, we'll talk about more in the second hour because I've have some gripes about game shows as well, but we'll get in that a little bit later.
All right, fair enough. We've got a few things going on in the news, though. I think we should probably get to, fellas.
Yes, sir.
The first big story.
This is interesting because we've been talking about this a lot lately about how gas prices are going up.
Yes.
Well, today, I should say, on NBC News, I read that oil prices might start falling, but that is not a good thing, Greg. And that confused me.
Why not, Pete?
Well, here's what's going to happen. The International Energy Agency said that Tuesday, demand destruction could unfold. I'd never heard that term before, but basically these would be shortages stemming from the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and overseas businesses and households will start curbing investment and consumption. I didn't know that.
So basically, that reminds me sort of like back in the days of the pandemic when, the gas was like 88 cents a gallon because nobody was driving. No one was. You were using the necessary gas that you needed in your home, but you weren't overusing outside the house because we weren't going anywhere. And I will say, the gas prices around my neighborhood did go down 10 cents, which, you can say, well, 10 cents, but that's the difference between a $60 gallon, a $60 fill up, and maybe 58 or 57. And nowadays, we all know this, every dollar counts. So, but it's not good, though, this thing here happening, because when gas prices go down as well, that's also not a great thing either. So it's still, I don't know, Pete, like every day I get up and I see differing stories about this topic around the Strait of Hormuz, the oil, the tankers, who's being blocked, who's not, what's the president saying, what's he saying really, and what will he actually do? So like, to me, this story does not make me feel better.
Yeah, and it's not, I guess we don't need to sound the alarm yet in America. Yeah. It says according to NBC anyway, it's likely to affect global economic growth, has not affected the U.S. economy, but it could threaten to destabilize an already fragile labor market. I will say this, I have a Toyota Land Cruiser that's kind of old. I love it. I'll probably never get rid of it. We are not driving that thing at all right now because it's got like a 20-gallon tank, and 10 cents, coming down 10 cents, that saves us $2 if we and I filled it once, I think, since the war started, because we don't drive it that much. But no, it's a big deal. And you'd think people would be excited. I was not familiar with the term demand destruction, though. So there you go. But
neither have I. Yeah. Neither have I. Guess we'll see. We'll see more as the weeks go on. But yeah, this,
Absolutely. On a lighter note, folks, share with us your favorite game show. That is our question of the night here at Nite Lite. When we come back, a certain someone was booed at a certain big event. We're going to tell you all about that because it's one of our news stories, and you'll hear about that next after this very short break. Don't go anywhere. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us.
Donnelly rocking a little crowded house.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes. That's how I do it around here, Pete.
All right. Well,
absolutely.
Feeling confident.
You're paid to play the big tunes.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to. I was going to talk about this movie I saw last night. It was really cool. It was called The Harder They Fall.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Have you seen that? I had never even heard of it.
I loved it. It was pre-Jonathan, what's-his-face's legal problems.
Jonathan, the star of the movie, Majors?
Yeah.
What were his legal problems?
He got busted, arrested, and convicted of abuse, I believe. I think it was,
Dear. Now I can't like the movie.
Tom, did you? Are you safe right now?
Yeah,
Did you see Tucker's thing?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I heard sirens, but I'm trying to keep updated as much as I
Whoa.
can with the show.
Okay. Do you mind pulling up some information we can talk about on the other side just to say what's going on
Yeah.
for people in Madison? Because
Yes.
I know right now we're still looking at a watch, so we're good here in Southeastern, but maybe want to pull up something for when we come right back.
Okay.
Yikes.
Yikes.
It is just a watch still, but
Okay.
He's not that far away from you, though. Just keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
yeah, for me and Tucker, I think we're pretty close.
Hey now, don't dream it's over.
Still updated.
Brr.
It's over.
It's finished. It's not finished.
What was I think it was Matt Damon's character in the Departed, where he said, "No, I'm Irish. I will stay in a relationship until the woman leaves me. I'm never leaving."
All right, guys, 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
All right.
Hey, welcome back. I hope you're striking a pose, folks, wherever you are, and I hope it's one of relaxation, because we are here to help you relax on this edition of Nite Lite. I'm Pete Schwaba, sitting upstate from Greg Bach. Dom Lee is in Madison. Pay attention to the weather, folks. If you are in Madison, especially, you said you're still dealing with a watch, Greg and Racine. But
Yes.
Dom, we've got our eye on you because our senior producer, Tucker, had to go into shelter, and he's not that far away from you, so...
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Do you have
we
any
got going?
information?
It just says the National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. right now. I'm just looked it up. It still says tornado watch as of right now where I am currently at, which is downtown Madison. So, but I will stay updated with that as much as possible.
All
Okay,
right, very
great.
good. Stay safe, folks.
Please do
regardless
so.
of where you are. Yeah, turn on the news and follow along. This is Nite Lite. As I mentioned, we've got a great guest coming up in just a few minutes, folks. Dr. Donald Chi, DDS. He is a PhD and professor of oral health sciences at the University of Washington. We are going to talk to him about supposed bans on fluoride. I didn't know that was a big deal, Greg, but apparently people are trying to ban fluoride. We'll talk to Dr. Chi about that. And then another doctor, Susan Kearns from Milwaukee Film. She's the executive director. Will join us in the second hour to talk about the Milwaukee Film Festival, which kicks off on Thursday. Our question of the night: what is your favorite game show? So text us and be part of the show. There are no right or wrong answers, folks. Only your answers. So we've got a couple news stories we got to get to here, Greg.
Yes, we
What
do.
do you say?
Let's do it.
The second big story.
Well, it seems like some of Donald Trump's biggest fans are starting to turn on him, too. Apparently, this past weekend, he went to a UFC match while there was warring going on and things like that, and people not being able to afford food and things like that. He went to Miami for the UFC, then took in some golf the next day. But at this event, there was talk, and it was being reported all over the place, that it was a mixed reaction. People were booing and cheering him, and this is not the first time this has happened. It has happened at football games. It has happened at baseball games. People are not, and the fact that this is being done at a UFC fight in Miami, that's a big deal. We were talking about this yesterday. That people, that picture he posted on Sunday of him as, quote, a Red Cross doctor. His fervent Christian fans not happy about that at all, and we're seeing the breakdown here at various places that he's not popular, and not just the polls saying it, but the people are saying it too.
It's so crazy because to go back to the image of him as Jesus, where he claims he thought he was a doctor. He sounds more and more like Michael Scott. He's either never been to the doctor or he's completely Michael Scotting as well. No. I was a doctor, and because doctors help people, and I help people. It sounded like he was Steve Carell's character on The Office when he tries to talk his way out of this stuff. But the booing, that is deep MAGA. Like I used to be a huge UFC fan, but it's the fans that are so crazy. Like I'll still watch highlights occasionally. I do think there's some artistry in martial arts, but I cannot. It's the fans with the affliction shirts. When they're turning on Trump, he's got major problems. And I'm not saying they all are, but I don't think, for them to come out this strongly and boo, and I didn't think the booing was huge, but Dana White got booed, the founder of the UFC, and I don't think he's a good guy either. I think he hit his wife once. That was caught on camera. I don't know why these people are celebrated. But
there are no consequences, Pete.
Pardon?
There are no consequences. That's why.
Well, exactly. And it's just if you're losing that base, that is a male dominated audience at the UFC, and it's probably not a good thing for Trump.
Well, and I said this on the old shows that back in 2024, the brand of Trump was cool. It was in fashion. Kids were wearing the hats. They wanted to be cool.
Right.
Their podcasters loved that guy. Like and the past now year and a half, people are starting to see the cracks are showing. A lot of folks have seen it, but the folks who voted for him are now seeing it affect their wallets, affect their gas tanks, affect the groceries, and they're tired of it. And they got sold a bill of goods because the guy came in and said, I'm going to do all these things. And for some reason, they believed him. Okay. But there's now proof out there that shows that this guy is not what he says he is. And he is a man who, in my opinion, I don't think he should be president, mainly just because of what he says, and specifically to this picture they put out there. He's like, I was a doctor with the Red Cross. That's not something a normal person says. You say that when you're losing it. So, yeah.
Who would have thought ineptness does not govern well? All right. So I think it's time to get to our third story.
Yeah.
The third big story.
Greg, this is all you, buddy.
It has been announced the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2026 has been released as of last night on American Idol, and that group includes Sade, which, by the way, was the band, not just the woman. That's the name of the group, Sade. Luther Vandross, very cool.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan, love it. Billy Idol, I'm surprised he wasn't in there sooner. Oasis, that might be a first ballot vote right there. This is one I've never seen before. Joy Division and New Order will go in on the same nomination, both bands, because Joy Division eventually became New Order because their lead singer died. Iron Maiden, which is amazing. Oh, yeah. And then finally, and I'm sorry for Dom's mom on this one, but Phil Collins inducted as a solo artist, his second entrance into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm happy for you and sad for Dom's mom, but
I know.
I don't like disagree. Billy Idol, he had a couple classic. Is there anyone here you could argue with, Greg? You're a music fan. I love New Order, love Luther Vandross, love Sade, and I like Oasis.
I think it's about the impact, and all of these artists had major impact on their work. You can make an argument for almost all of these against, but when it comes down to it, the people have spoken, and this is what they want. Now, really quick, Mariah Carey denied for the third time.
Yeah, and Melissa Etheridge, In Excess, the Black Crowes. That's crazy. Maybe we can continue this a little bit in the second hour. It's a great conversation and good stuff. All right, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. We are coming right back after the news with Dr. Donald Chi. Stay safe out there, folks. Watch your TV, follow the news. Tornadoes are in and around the area, so take precaution. We're coming right back.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to run to the gym.
I forgot that we still have to do 2A. I'm like, oh, cool, we're good for a while. I'm like, oh no, we're live for a smidge.
I used to do that, like when I would have to drive to Green Bay. If we did a pre-record, I would always make sure it was like the last half hour of the show so I could jet early and get some daylight for my drive. But we can't do a preemptive nightcap.
Mm-mm. What did you learn? It doesn't matter.
I learned I could leave early.
All right, I'm going to go do some stuff, and I'll meet back with you guys in a little while.
Sounds good.
See you guys.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. We always love to hear your comments. You can drop them in the text line, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream. We stream on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. Coming up in the second hour, we're welcoming back to the show Dr. Susan Kearns, who is in charge of the Milwaukee Film Festival beginning this Thursday. And you will get your chance to win an all-access pass to the Milwaukee Film Festival with our Win Your Way into the Milwaukee Film Festival text-to-win contest. That's all in the second hour coming up. And then Of course, we wrap everything up with the nightcap. But now let us welcome our first guest of the evening. He is a PhD professor of oral health sciences at the University of Washington, Donald Chi, DDS. Welcome to the show this evening. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Welcome. We are so happy to have you on the program this evening. Honestly, there's so much to talk about because when we were discussing you being on the show, one of the major things we wanted to talk about was fluoride in our water and the resistance to fluoride, specifically from the Secretary of Health, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. But in one of the articles that you were quoted in CBS News, fluoride is a major conversation that we will have, but the state of dental care in this country has taken a huge nosedive, specifically since COVID. Can you talk more about that?
Absolutely. So I practice in clinic a day a week here in Seattle in a clinic that treats mostly low-income families and children. I'm a pediatric dentist. And one of the things that we saw before the pandemic is that, there was a pretty large unmet need. Lots of kids coming in with cavities, needing, fillings, sometimes root canals and stainless steel crowns. Sometimes, teeth would need to be extracted or removed if the cavities were big enough. And I think what happened with COVID is that, families were stressed. Many of them were at home. Kids were at home all day, had a lot of screen time, snacking behaviors, I think just skyrocketed and went through the roof, where sugar intake was just at an all-time high. And at the same time, I think hygiene behaviors just got lost. So a lot of families were just trying to make it through the day. And so I think, toothbrushing didn't happen in the way that it needed to. So I think what happened as a result of the COVID pandemic, and we see this in clinic, is that kids from low-income families who used to come in with pretty substantial, cavities are coming in with just, really, really just large cavities, lots of unmet need. During that first 2.5 years of the pandemic, a lot of, dental clinics were intermittently closed. And so I think a lot of families just weren't thinking about dental care on top of all of this. And I'd say that we're still catching up from the consequences of COVID in clinic, where, I'll still see families in clinic, as of recently, that have said, well, we're still kind of recovering from COVID and we're just kind of getting reacquainted with the dental care system.
It's great to have you here, Dr. Chi. And I just want to say I flossed twice before you got here, just to really kind of get ready for the
Pete
interview.
is a show off and suck up. All right, cool.
Just a little bootlicking before I ask my question. So I read in an article too that you said you deal with up to 6 families a day that don't want fluoride treatment. You're a man of science, dealing with what you hear on the outside, or you have people like RFK Jr. saying that fluoride is bad or whatever. What do you tell those families, and how do you try to get through to them to convince them that they need fluoride, if you even do that or feel comfortable doing that?
Absolutely. Pete, you hit on something at the end of your question there about convincing parents. And I think that was the approach I used to take. When I first saw fluoride hesitancy in clinic as a resident. So this is a fresh out of dental school. I was a newly minted dentist, learning how to become a pediatric dentist. When I saw families for the first time who would come to me, to have their kids' teeth fixed and cleaned, when families would say no to fluoride, that's immediately where I went to. I immediately went into sell mode of how is it that I could convince families to accept the fluoride. And I think that, the thing that I learned through that approach is that oftentimes I would get a lot of resistance from families. And they don't always have to say, resistance related words for you to feel like there's resistance. And sometimes these interactions would just get really heated, and everyone would end up feeling bad at the end of the appointment. And so what I ended up doing was that I wanted to study this. There had to be a better way than me trying to convince families to accept fluoride. I was studying for a PhD at the same time, so I had done all the readings of all the studies. I tried to incorporate that into practice where I would say, hey, look, there was this huge study and talk to parents about these scientific studies. And for the most part, parents didn't want to hear that. They did not want to hear about the studies. They didn't want to hear about me showing off my scientific knowledge. And what I realized in hindsight is that I think what families want is that they want a provider who listens, and so rather than me go directly into sell mode, what my research has shown me is that I need to step back a little bit. Dentists need to step back a little bit and try to understand where parents are coming from. Why is it that a family is concerned about fluoride? And I think that's the only way a provider is going to get at the root of what's causing that concern. And I think from that point on, then you can make a decision as to what type of conversation you're going to have with the parent. Some parents don't want to talk about fluoride at all. Like they've made their decision. They don't want it for their kids. And that's the end of the story, period. And I have to, as a provider, respect that. I will obviously, provide my professional advice as to whether their child, should be, getting the fluoride that I'm recommending. But some parents don't want to talk about it. Other parents do want to talk about it. And I think the reason why a parent is hesitant about fluoride is really, I think, a good starting point for a conversation that may take place over the course of multiple visits. So maybe not just during the visit today. Maybe this conversation has to happen, every, 6 months for the next year or year and a half for us to get to a point where we can provide the care that's going to lead to the best outcomes for their kids.
I just want to say that must make your job, that must add an element to your job that you didn't anticipate when you went to dental school, having to sell people on science and research. That seems like it would be exhausting.
Well, it's interesting. I think, I was trained under the old model, where it's kind of, we call it paternalism in healthcare, where you basically, you tell the patient what to do. They largely go in and do it. There's not a lot of resistance. And then you move on to the next patient. And boy, that's a really convenient, easy way of delivering health information. And it's not like that these days. I think that patients want more dialogue. They want to make sure that their providers are engaging in shared decision making, meaning that it's a dialogue. It's not a one-way conversation. It's a two-way conversation.
I can only imagine the frustration, though. I mean, I'm all for two-way dialogue, and I am very much a person. If a doctor tells me to do something, I consider it. I'm like, this is a doctor, and I usually take the advice. But nowadays, with social media, everyone thinks they're a doctor, or at least thinks that their favorite influencer is somewhat a doctor because they come across as confident with a nice lighting system and $1 million videos. But before we get further into that, can we take a step back in time and talk about our relationship with fluoride in our water in this country, something they had been doing for a long time. And then, I didn't even know it was there until someone tried to approach me with a conspiracy theory. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So for those who don't know, what's a brief history of fluoride in our water in this country, at least, that, really kind of set people on a path of saying, getting into rabbit holes of alternate facts, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. So fluoride was first noticed in the early 1900s in Colorado, and so there were certain parts of Colorado where individuals had a stained enamel, or enamel is the outermost surface of teeth, and so dentists were noticing that there were pockets of geographic areas in Colorado where patients were coming in with this staining, and what they realized was that while the staining was it didn't look good, and so aesthetically it didn't look good, these same patients with this brown staining on their teeth seemed to be resistant to getting cavities. And so even though the staining was there, they didn't seem to be develop cavities as much as individuals who didn't have this staining. So there were a lot of lab studies that were then done. And subsequently, what was discovered was that there were certain areas in Colorado where the water was naturally fluoridated at a pretty high level to lead to this brown staining. And what researchers found was that it was fluoride. And so subsequently, lots of lab studies to try to determine, okay, how can we maybe take advantage or harness the preventive powers of fluoride, but minimize the staining? And that's really where some of the first community-based trials, came into play of trying to figure out what that that optimal level of fluoride is. And so for most communities, what that means to get to that optimal level, that means you have to add a very careful amount of fluoride to the water to make sure you don't add too much fluoride, but you want to also make sure you're adding enough to get that preventive effect or the preventive benefit to prevent cavities. And that's really how water fluoridation started in this country. And almost from the day that water fluoridation, started in the country, there have been groups in the U.S. that have, called water fluoridation, an attempt at mind control. Lots of conspiracy theories. This is the Soviets trying to take over, the masses. Lots of different theories on the actual or the real reason we fluoridate. Our water. And really, this was simply, a way to make sure we could prevent tooth decay.
Well, you were just part of a monster outfit trying to steal our children's souls. Yeah, I don't know. Oh gosh, I don't want to laugh, but it's kind of funny too, but not because of where we are in politics. But go ahead, Pete.
Our guest is Dr. Donald Chi, DDS. He is a professor of oral health sciences at the University of Washington. So we've got congressmen trying to introduce bans on fluoride. Dentistry and dental insurance has been cut by the big, beautiful bill. I'm trying to follow the money here. How does that benefit? Or where does is it just a question of cutting the money out of a budget? It doesn't seem like people can get rich or politicians can get rich cutting fluoride. Like, I don't understand the motivation here, I guess.
Yeah, and that's really that's a great question, Pete. And I don't know either. It's really hard for me to understand because something like water fluoridation is beneficial. It's safe. It's effective when done, under supervision, which is the way water is fluoridated in the U.S. Water hygiene specialists have to have licensing and credentials and constant continual training to be adding fluoride to the water. What I think it is that I think a lot of politicians in the U.S. are maybe taking advantage of some of the anxieties that exist in the population. And so part of this, it kind of goes back to our earlier comment about, okay, why is it that individuals are coming in and why are they concerned about fluoride? And I think some of it has to do with empowerment. That the internet has democratized knowledge. And so anyone can go online and look up information on anything. And I think that with that knowledge, then, comes the sense of empowerment that they have gained some knowledge. And so then they come into, the dentist's office or the physician's office with maybe some made up minds about what they want to do. And in this case, it's fluoride.
Well, we're going to keep this conversation going with Dr. Donald Chi, DDS. He's a PhD professor of oral health sciences at the University of Washington, right here on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. You're listening to the Civic Media Network. Stay tuned and stay close. Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. Always drop your comments onto our live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we'll still call Twitter. And you can text us via the Civic Media text line on the app or via your phone, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Still ahead talking to Dr. Susan Kearns about the Milwaukee Film Festival starting this Thursday and your chance to win an all-access pass to that festival. So stay tuned in the second hour. And we're wrapping everything up with the nightcap. But we're talking with Dr. Donald Chi. He's a dentist, a PhD, professor of oral health sciences at the University of Washington. He is our guest this evening. And I want to say the following. I understand that there's no replacing the brushing, the flossing, and all the good everyday things you're supposed to be doing. But with the help that fluoride in water has, if that were to somehow be taken away, that is going to affect a lot of folks who don't have health care. Now, again, fluoride in water does not replace those other things, but it's something. And what would you think would happen if those folks who don't have access to health insurance or to dentistry and lose fluoride? I mean, there's going to be a definite shift for those who are, they are vulnerable to those things because of their lack of access to health care. What do you think the problem there would be if we all of a sudden just said, fluoride's gone?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have studies to show what happens when communities pull fluoride out of the water is that cavity rates go up. I mean, it takes maybe about 9 to 12 months to see those cavity rates go up. But yeah, cavities will increase. And actually, it's lower income, more socioeconomically vulnerable individuals and communities and families that actually will bear the brunt of those cavity increases. And so, if you're wealthy or if you're middle class, you have a lot of protective things in life. You have health insurance that dental offices will take. You tend to eat healthier. You tend to have other sources of fluoride like fluoridated toothpaste that you're using twice a day at home. But that's not the case with our lower income populations. And so cavity rates will increase and the poor will get more cavities than others. And that then creates further strain on the dental care system because that means more cavities, that means more visits to the dentist. And if you can't get to the dentist, that's going to start affecting hospital emergency rooms. So we know that. We know that when you can't get into the dentist for routine care or for emergency care, a lot of individuals end up going to the emergency room, going to hospital emergency rooms, where they can't actually fix the problem. So they may give you some painkillers and then tell you to go to the dentist, which then doesn't really solve the problem.
Yeah. Yep.
Dr. Joe Rogan says, no, I'm just kidding. How often, fluoride aside, how often should people see the dentist if they do practice good oral hygiene? And how does good oral hygiene lead to better gut health? Because I've been reading a lot about that lately, too.
Yeah, I think in terms of frequency of dental visits, most people go to the dentist every 6 months. Sometimes, some dentists may say, well, come back in 12 months or 18 months. Some individuals have to come back more often. So we have a lot of really high-risk kids who are more prone to getting cavities that we want to see back every 3 or 4 months. So it's all based on risk. If you're at higher risk for tooth decay, dentists tend to want to see you more often. And if you're at lower risk, then you can go a little bit longer between visits. In terms of the links between oral health and gut health, I think the jury is still out. I think maybe primarily because the studies are still being done now. Our group is actually working on a project funded by NIH looking at the links between what happens in the mouth and what happens in the lungs in individuals with cystic fibrosis. And we're actually seeing links between that. So if you have cavities, if you have gingivitis, that you may be more likely to have more severe lung disease as an individual with cystic fibrosis, which again starts to get at this link between what's happening in the mouth and what's happening in other parts of the body.
Wow.
I promise I'll make this connect. I have a lot of tattoos, and one thing in the tattoo world we always say is when you go to get a tattoo, make sure you connect with your tattoo artist. If you're not feeling it, you're not liking it, you don't feel comfortable, don't go. You have every right to leave. There are a lot of folks out there, Dr. Chi, who have not gone to the dentist in a long time. And I will admit, I'm one of those people. I try to practice good oral hygiene, but I don't get to the dentist as much as I should. And what happens, I know for a lot of my friends, is as we don't go, we get more and more afraid of what will happen and also how we may be treated. And a friend of mine went to a dentist after many years of neglect, and they said simply out loud, "We're here to make you feel comfortable and happy, and we will never judge you." What do you say to folks who say to you, "I haven't gone in a long time, I'm very scared"?
Dental fears and anxieties are common. I would say, lots of people are afraid of going to the dentist. You may have had a negative experience going to the dentist as a child. You may have gone to the dentist as an adult and not been treated nicely, in terms of pain control. So you may have had like a root canal and maybe you felt it. And that can trigger dental anxiety and fear. So, first thing I'd say is dental fear and anxieties are absolutely normal. The other thing I would say, going off of what you just said, Greg, is shop around. If you're not happy with your dentist, find a dentist that you're comfortable and that you trust. This is really super important. The mouth is a really intimate part of the body. Dental visits can be really uncomfortable. Even routine visits that are just cleanings and X-rays can be really uncomfortable. And you want to make sure that you trust, the provider that's going to be spending, some minutes in a very private, intimate part of your body.
And I appreciate that. That's something in 2026 I told myself I would do. I'd find a new dentist, and I want to go somewhere I feel safe and welcome and not judged for not making it there. So, Dr. Donald Chi, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time this evening.
Thanks for inviting me.
Dr. Donald Chi is a DDS PhD professor of oral health sciences at the University of Washington. He has been our guest tonight. If you missed any part of the conversation, go to civicmedia.us/shows. Look for Nite Lite. You can download the entire conversation and listen anywhere, anytime. Coming up in just a little bit, Dr. Susan Kearns from the Milwaukee Film Festival. Your keyword to possibly win a all-access pass to the Film Fest. Plus, we're talking about the question of the night. What's your favorite game show? All right here on Nite Lite with Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. I can talk.
Trying to make sense of the world? You've got Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
Call our toll-free number now.
Headlines, culture, and real conversation.
And now, our feature presentation.
Here's Pete and Greg.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. We're coming to you live all over Wisconsin. The Yaderhay Triangle, we call it, from Racine at Radio Park, where I'm at, upstate in Christmas City, USA with Marinette, and then all the way over in Madison at HQ with Dom Lee on the ones and twos. You can always be part of the conversation by calling or texting 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can leave a comment on the live stream. We're currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. Daniel on the live stream says, "What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday." Well, Daniel, what's up to you? Happy Tuesday to you as well. There's still lots of great programming still ahead this hour. In a little bit, we'll be talking to returning guest, friend of the show, they call it in radio parlance, Dr. Susan Kearns. Yes, Dr. Susan Kearns, who is the executive director of Milwaukee Film, to talk about the Milwaukee Film Festival starting this Thursday. And yeah, I mean, it's been a great program so far. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, we're crushing it, man. Dom, you're still in one piece. There's no.
It's like apathetic confidence. Like, yeah, so
I don't get too excited about anything, and I don't get too down, Greg. I'm middle of the road.
You're like lukewarm water.
Exactly. Daniel's sports highlights on the stream texts every Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Dom makes tacos every Tuesday. Connection there?
Whoa, where's the X-Files?
Just saying.
I told Dom a long time ago that I wouldn't play song. There it is.
You have that at the ready?
Yep, there it is.
Always at the ready.
There you go.
Dude.
I told him, because I'm sitting in Radio Park right now with a full gear setup and I can play music as well. And I said, I won't do that because I don't want to scare. His job is to do that. And I don't want to be like inserting my personal choices, being like, well, I'm playing this anyway. So thank you, Dom, for being prepared.
I got nothing. I could sing Def Leppard if it came to that, but I wouldn't inflict that on anybody.
I mean, I'm here for it.
Do a full segment of that.
There you go.
Do I do Photograph or
do you want to go? I would say start early. Yeah, Photograph would be really good. Rock of Ages, that'd be great. While you're deciding on what you want to put on your Def Leppard set list, it's time right now. Speaking of the Milwaukee Film Festival, we'll be talking to Dr. Kearns about that in just a little bit. It's time right now, once again, for the Win Your Way into the Milwaukee Film Festival Text to Win contest. This week, the stakes are even higher, folks, because we are giving away an all-access pass. That will get you into every single show at the film festival, including ones that are sold out. We'll talk actually more about that all-access pass with Susan Kearns when she's up here in just a few minutes. But now is your chance to get your device ready to text in the keyword that could get you that all-access pass to the 2026 Milwaukee Film Festival. Can I get some timpanis? The keyword for this whole hour is short. S-H-O-R-T. The word is short, as in check out these film shorts, or a short film, or I love Martin Short. S-H-O-R-T is the keyword for this hour. Good luck. Text that in right now for your chance to win an all-access pass to the Milwaukee Film Festival beginning this Thursday. Good luck. The word is short.
We should probably reintroduce the question of the night, because I think people are out there now. They want to text in short. We can also get them ready while their thumbs are moving and they got their blood pumping. They can be part of the show and answer tonight's question of the night. What do you say, Domley?
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
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 Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda. Question.
Question.
Questions.
What's your favorite game show? Call or text 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can leave a comment on the live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. But what is your favorite game show? Let us know. There are no wrong answers, as we said earlier, and we'd love to hear from you. So feel free to drop a comment. Let us know. Pete, what about you?
I was going to ask if you wanted to go first tonight, Greg.
Too late. I don't ask. I just go for it.
You do. You take the bull by the horns. I'm going to say Family Feud, because I like Jeopardy. I like Price is Right, some of the more classic ones. And not that Family Feud, it's right up there, but I like seeing what America says, if they really even do that. And it's fun watching families fold under pressure. And some of the blue families just can't get it together or can't answer the questions are hilarious. So I'll say Family Feud.
Okay. I mean, I feel like now that show just exists so Steve Harvey can make weird faces and do that slow walk and the Okay, you got a problem with that? I get it's.
I'm not a huge Steve Harvey fan.
I'm also not either. I feel like he said some things in his past, and I don't know if he has recanted or changed his mind, but things about, we'll not get into that.
I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's funny. And when someone will say a line, instead of saying something witty, he'll just look at the crowd like, no, say something. You're the host. You're supposed to be able to add something here.
No, he looks off. He looks off into the middle distance. He walks away slowly, and then he has a fun, quippy comeback. It's just great. Well, at least he's not just forcefully making out with the women in the families. What was it? Richard Dawson. Richard Dawson, man, he would get handsy. It was weird.
It was like a makeout session with some. It's so. How is that ever acceptable?
I mean, Pete. It was a different time back then. It was just a different time. Dom, what about you? What is your favorite game show? Are you ready for the question?
Yeah, I am ready for the question.
Okay.
This is boring. This is going to be a boring one, and I got to go Jeopardy. I know most people are probably going to say similar, but I still watch Jeopardy. I go on Hulu and watch Jeopardy every now and then as well. So I got to go Jeopardy.
How do you do when you answer the questions? Do you hang in there?
I hang in there, and also I'm not really good at answering the questions. So that's why I let the people that are actually on the game show do the game show, and I just sit back and relax.
That's fair.
He just takes in all the knowledge. I have found that when I was younger, I was really good at Wheel of Fortune and awful at Jeopardy. And now that I've gotten older, I'm much better at Jeopardy. I'm not a champion. I'm not going to go on the show, but I watch Wheel of Fortune, and it could be it could be Airy Christmas, and I'd be like, I don't know what it is. What's the other letter? I can't figure this out. This is stupid. I hate this game. But yeah, I just, for some reason, I've become completely inept when it comes to Wheel of Fortune.
Interesting. And I kind of get what you're saying, because I think as you get older, you just naturally gain knowledge, so you fare a little bit better at Jeopardy. Like I used to feel like a dunce in my early 20s, but now I'm like, okay, I get some of these, that's fine. But I'm with you on Wheel of Fortune too.
Absolutely. Do we have any texts? We have some texts both for this and beyond. Dom, what do we have on the text line going on right now?
Yes, we have Brett from Brown Deer talking about the favorite game show. His favorite game show of all time is The Gong Show. I've never
that show. Classic. That show was chaos in 30 minutes. It was pure and utter chaos, but it's hilarious. I would just say this, Dom. If you have a chance tonight, just go on YouTube and look up Best of the Gong Show. I don't know if you can properly describe it, Pete. I feel like anything we do to try to give him an idea of what this show is about, there's it's just 70s chaos.
There's still like big winners and losers, though, right? Is it like there's still like a big win sort of thing, or
you just got to see it? If you get the gong, I'll just leave it at that. You check it out, and if you can we go back? I want to make sure we get Brett texted in earlier in the show too. And he says if it wasn't for taxes, I could never have gotten to serve in the Army. That's a great point too.
Yep.
Right.
We were talking about that earlier. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and appreciate that, Brett, and thank you for your service. And I know that great guy. Love when Brett chimes in on anything too. So really appreciate that. I did see something from Matt in Eau Claire. There says Matt EC. So Matt, I'm not sure if we got the entirety of your message. If you want to let us know what you're thinking, feel free to text us again. But what else do we got, Dom?
We also got Dana from La Crosse. Sorry if I'm
Dana.
Dana. If you get the tick and tack, we'll give you the dough. It's got to be Wink Martindale, baby.
That is one of my favorites. Tic Tac Toe.
That's great.
I loved Tic Tac Toe. It was
those reruns have to be on somewhere, because Wink Martindale. Not only did he have the best game show name, it was the way he said it. Wink Martindale. Like he just It was beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. I love that one. What's the other one? It was right. Press Your Luck. No whammies.
Oh yeah, wow.
That one was so like anxiety inducing. You just like you. It's the luck. You never know. You got the whammy, and then that sniveling little whammy comes out and takes all your money. They actually just made a movie about it, about some guy who watched it so much he didn't rig it. He figured out the patterns essentially. He figured out how the little lights went, and he knew exactly when a whammy would come. It's very interesting. They're making a lot of these game show movies where people are breaking the system, but I love that one. And Tic Tac Toe. I love those.
Those are great.
Game shows.
Another one that's more recent is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I think when they had to go up the pyramid. I thought that was kind of cool.
I didn't like that. I like my pyramid with $64,000. Thank you very much. Okay.
No argument here. It's a fine pyramid.
In fact. What do we have? Any other text messages there, Dom?
Yeah, we have a few more, and it was about the most. It was with Donald, and it was Brett from Brown Deer wants to get Americans to like fluoride. It changed the name to T-Dazzle. It's all about marketing.
Love it.
Call it Mega Dazzle. Call it Mega Dazzle. And we'll
Great one, Brett.
I love it. And then same thing. Jack from Merrimack also talking about the recent guest that we had on. For what it's worth, the current emphasis on fluoride is simply more incitement of fear, hate, and anger. Its purpose, in his opinion, is just another way to divide Americans and continue the attack on science. It's more MAGA disruption of America.
Absolutely. There
That
you go.
doesn't sound like a very fun game show.
No, actually, it's a terrible game show. It's a terrible game show. That's called America right now. Oh. Where did it land? Higher gas prices. Oh, man.
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Bankruptcy, you win.
Yeah, done and done.
And then we have one more. John Murray from Madison says, I can't find my cookie cutters. And then Fred says to Aunt Esther, just press your face into the dough and make gorilla cookies. Sanford and Son never disappoints. We talked about this. But I believe that all in the family can't be touched with 10-foot poles from any direction. Archie Bunker rules. There we go.
He rules for a certain reason. I love that Carol O'Connor played them, who was like the absolute opposite of Archie Bunker.
The most progressive guy ever.
Oh my gosh. And like, I love those grizzly guys too. Is like, oh, is that an actor, or did you just get off of work at a warehouse or a factory or something? But do we have any, before we have to go to break, do we have any Facebook comments?
We do. I'll see if I can jam through these. Mike Desitel says, what is Jeopardy? Appreciate the effort. Thank you, Mike. Keeping with the theme. Tim Baker says tic-tac-doe. Another vote for tic-tac-doe. Dan Davies says wedgie fever. I think that was an SNL sketch.
I think so. Yeah.
That's a Dan answer. Just a few more here. Boris Hamilton says the back-to-back Joker's wild. I forgot about Joker's
That was
Wild.
the other one. That was the other one too. Oh man,
that was awesome.
That was a great show.
Totally. And then we got Sean Boyce says Jeopardy. Jay Campbell. What was that one from the 70s where they brought a businessman with his wife and secretary, then quizzed the women to find? Oh, the dating game.
Oh, yeah,
that was a good one.
Anything to say though, like I loved it anytime when they just said making whoopee. Like that was the word they used in place of having sex. It was making whoopee.
And who was that? Chuck, what was his name? He also did
wasn't
Wheel of
Chuck
Fortune
Woolery.
before. Okay. I thought it
Chuck,
was.
Who dated?
You look that up. I'll get through these. Rob Lehman says Joker's Wild on Facebook. John Kelnhofer says Price is Right, but only with Bob Barker. Joe Tomchek says Jeopardy. All right. Outstanding text, everybody.
There we go. It says Jim Lang hosted it from 65 to 73.
Oh.
And that's about all we got. But
nice.
When we come back, we're going to be talking to Dr. Susan Kearns, the executive director of Milwaukee Film, about the 2026 Milwaukee Film Festival. Text in the word short for your chance to win an all-access pass. Stay tuned. Stay close. You're listening to Nite Lite with Pete and Greg.
I just had to keep it here. We are back.
It's nice to have that option to not say the last names when we're running out of time. I've done that. Pete and Greg.
With P&G. NL with P&G here on CM with Dom Lee. All right, everybody. Oh my gosh. And we just got 2 more texts in, so that's really fun. We can get back to those at the nightcap. So once again, folks, thanks for got a nice little crowd here tonight in the live stream.
With the super secret low-key chill show.
Yeah, so guys on the live stream, don't tell anyone. This is super secret. Everyone is on Twitter right now watching it. Interesting. I wonder if we're getting some Dan Schaefer bump.
You know, whenever I had like a bigger name person on, like Dan, or more of a national person, we'd get like up to sometimes 200. And I found that it would, some of them would stay for a few days and then it dwindled back down. But it's a tough platform, I think.
We would get like our record for Matinee on Air. It was Jane's last show. I think we were like 700.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And but the thing is, like, Dan would be on the show. That would always happen because Dan was on the show. And we would like see the numbers go into the 1 and the 200s on a regular basis with him, but no one would ever say anything. No one would comment. No one would make a good, bad, or indifferent, not even answering questions we put out there. There would be no response from the hundreds of people watching, but there was nothing to show for it as far as
watching their guy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
It could be just from Twitter. Yeah.
It's because almost everyone watching right now, everyone is on Twitter right now watching, and there's no way to take those comments and put them onto our stream, which makes, I'll say it until they change it, makes no sense to me.
Real quick, let's remember in the nightcap to name the movie of the week again, too.
Yes. That was the one. Okay. Oh, wait, we did say it. No, we did.
No, we did earlier. I'm just saying we remind people, like, maybe
rehash.
Perfect. All right, cool. All right, see you guys in a little bit.
All right,
all right, gents.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
Welcome back to Sanford and Son.
We renamed the show?
No, where did that come from, Dom? I like it, but I'm just saying.
I don't know. I felt it in my bones. I felt like it was the right time.
I can dig it.
I love
this is actually Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach and Dom Lee spinning the tunes and Madison. It is great to have you with us tonight, folks. Before I bring our next guest on, I want to say that our All Access Pass giveaway to the Milwaukee Film Festival, which gets you an All Access Pass, that is an incredible value to this year's Milwaukee Film Festival, which starts Thursday of this week. This hour's keyword is short, SHORT, short. So text that in on the app, and you are eligible for that incredible value, an All Access Pass to this year's Milwaukee Film Festival, which starts April 9th. It goes for 2 weeks. So it's an outstanding festival and a great time. Whether you should go or not, even if you don't win, go to the Milwaukee Film Festival. It's tons of fun. Right, Greg?
It's great. Small correction. April 16th. Starts April 16th.
I'm sorry. April 9th was last week. April 16th for 2 weeks.
That's where we're at. Okay. Time is an illusion, Pete. It's an absolute illusion. And who's laughing at us right now, Pete? Someone is laughing at us, and I don't appreciate it.
I think it was Dom.
Oh, it was Dom? I thought it was our next guest.
Well, it may have been me. Yep, you might be on my timeline right now.
I live a week previous. That's just kind of how I roll. I'm stuck in the past, the very near past, though. All right, that is the voice or the laughter from our next guest. She is the executive director of Milwaukee Film. Does an outstanding job there. She's been on the show many times. She is no stranger to Nite Lite. Dr. Susan Kearns joins us to discuss this year's Milwaukee Film Festival. Hi, Susan.
Hello.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing okay, hanging in there, considering the festival starts in just 2 days.
I love talking to film festival people that when it's like a day or two out and they are just frazzled. I don't even know how you can have a conversation, frankly, but it's great to have you here. Thank you for taking the time. Let's just jump in. Give us your thoughts on this year's festival. You've been with Milwaukee Film a few years now. Tell us about this festival and give us an overview if you can.
Yeah, so actually this is just my second festival back. I've only been in my position for a year and a couple of months, but I will say that this year is so exciting. It's our 18th year. And I'm very, very happy that your listeners have a chance at an all access pass because this year we are opening with the documentary Uke, which is about beloved celebrity Bob Uecker. That opening night, we actually had to add a second screening on opening night because it sold out so fast. And then the second screening also sold out very, very quickly. So right now, the only way to be sure to get into the film is if you have one of those passes. So that's a great, great deal for your listeners.
It's also an incredible value too, like for
it is
what you can get.
Yeah, so we have 2 full weeks of movies. We have almost 250 movies in the festival altogether. And having the pass is amazing because it allows you to kind of pick and choose as you are feeling it that day. So we literally will have people who come to like 4 or 5 films every single day. They will keep track of everything they see. And with that pass, you can kind of wander in and out. I don't know that this is the best way to approach it, but there are some folks who will go to like the first 20 minutes and be like, not feeling it, and then go to something different. And that's also, a pass gives you that flexibility. That said, we have lots and lots of single tickets available too, and just so many incredible films that we're just ready to share them with everybody.
It's fantastic. For you as Susan Kearns, not the executive director, not the doctor of English literature, but as a film lover who enjoys going to movies, what is one movie we have a couple of minutes left in this segment. What is one movie that you, the film lover, is really looking forward to?
So I will tell you, on this Friday night, we are showing Mario Bava's A Bay of Blood. This is an Italian giallo horror film. It will be midnight. Severin will be there. They will have like Blu-rays and things like that for sale. They will have souvenir barf bags. But the reason I'm excited about this film is because Italian giallo films they're so beautiful. They're, as much as it will be bloody because it is a bay of blood, these films knew how to use color. So it will be the most beautiful red you have ever seen. It will be beautiful blues and greens. They just knew how to light movies. And so they have, to have that on the big screen is going to be so much fun. I think the audience is going to be a hoot for that too. So I think that's going to be a good time.
Great.
So much, and I love that that's a midnight showing too. That's just perfect. And I bet you're going to get a crowd that just absolutely loves seeing that. Will that be at the Oriental?
Yeah, so that is at the Oriental Theater. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So we're going to talk. We've got about 30 seconds before we have to do a quick break, Doctor, and then we'll come back. But think about if, like Greg said, if there's one movie you should see. We'll ask you about some of the movies when we come back and what else. I know you have a big closing night film too. We'll ask you about some of the speakers and the guests and the Q&As, all of that stuff. So think about that. And just a reminder that our All Access Pass, we're giving away, and you got to get in on this, folks. The Milwaukee Film Festival starts April 16th. That's this Thursday. And the pass we're giving away gets you into anything. And this hour's keyword is short. SHORT, as in film shorts. I'm sure you have a lot of those, Susan, too, playing at this year's festival. And that's a great place to see short films. So this hour's keyword is short, SHORT. Text that in on the app, right, Greg?
On the app.
Okay.
Indeed. You can text on the app.
Text on the app. And we'll do that, and we'll talk more with our guest, Dr. Susan Kearns from Milwaukee Film. That is all coming up next on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach on the Civic Media Network. Welcome back. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. I am coming to you live from beautiful Northeast Wisconsin. Greg is sitting just downstate at Radio Park in Racine. And the kid, Dom Lee, as we refer to him sometimes, is working the board in Madison. It's the Otterhay Triangle, folks. And you are here on a perfect time for this show because we're talking to Dr. Susan Kern. She's the executive director of Milwaukee Film. The Milwaukee Film Festival starts this Thursday, April 16th, kicking off with Uke, as Dr. Kearns mentioned right before the break. Have you seen that film?
I have. Yeah. Okay. I've actually been lucky enough to see a couple of different versions of it.
Oh,
really?
Okay. Yeah. So it's been, it's so charming. Like, I did not grow up in Wisconsin, but Bob Uecker was such a big presence in my life because I saw Major League and watched, The Tonight Show. And it really does justice to his legacy.
He is a national figure, even though, that's what makes it's so much more special is he did it all from Milwaukee. I remember reading a book he wrote as a kid in Chicago, and I know he was on the Tonight Show, like you mentioned. He's just a national treasure, really. But will there be, that's opening night. That's going to be just a great atmosphere. Is there a Q&A after that with the filmmakers?
Yep. So there will be a Q&A on opening night. We'll have the co-directors, both of whom are from Milwaukee, and then at least one of the producers. And who knows, we might have another special guest. We're not quite sure. So.
Oh, okay.
I know, teaser.
Secret. Yeah, I like it.
And for that person who wins that all access pass, you could be a part of that. So, text in that word, text in the word short, SHORT right now to your chance to win. Dr. Kearns, what are other films that you want to highlight while you're with us right now? There's a lot of sold out shows, ones that folks films that folks can catch. What are the ones that are really getting you excited for people to see this year?
Yeah. So, honestly, we have so many great documentaries this year. You opened with a Prince song. And so that immediately reminded me of the film Paralyzed by Hope, the Maria Bamford story. So Maria Bamford is perhaps my favorite comedian.
Yeah.
She's so smart. She's so funny. She's from Duluth, which is why I made that Minnesota connection. But this film is just incredible in that it really looks at her comedy and how her comedy career changed over time as she was dealing with her mental illness. Yeah. She's just so smart, and it's just a really hopeful film and also fun to watch, even though it's dealing with serious topics. So we'll have the director in for that to do Q&As, and just I think that's going to be really, really great. Greg, since you're wearing your Sun Studio t-shirt, I also should push The Last Critic, which is about rock criticism. And we're going to have Jessica Hopper in town for that to talk about music criticism. It's just a really, really good film. The music films we have this year are amazing. Newport and the Folk Dream is going to be just awesome. All of these incredible performances by musicians that you probably have not seen before. A Fugazi documentary that's all crowdsourced material is going to be awesome. And we're going to have a panel talking about music journalism, music criticism after one of the screenings of the Fugazi doc too, which is going to be super cool. So just some really, really good stuff in terms of that world this year. In addition to our closing night film, which is called Power Ballad, starring Nick Jonas and Paul Rudd, and it's by the director of Once, which people really, really love. Yeah, it's so good. And this is sort of Paul Rudd is a musician who has gone the way of wedding singers and starts to hang out with Nick Jonas. They start to write music together, and then Nick Jonas's career takes off and Paul Rudd's does not, and you can kind of imagine where that goes.
You mentioned the Q&A after the opening night film, as well as some other films. Do you have any personal appearances that you could tell us about? Anyone showing up at the festival this year that people will definitely not want to miss?
Yeah, so one of the programs that we're doing that I think is just incredible is that we're showing a pilot called Ixonia's Mild Kingdom, and the writer or co-director of this pilot is Christopher Brown, He's actually the writer-producer of the original Beavis and Butthead. So a lot of folks know Mike Judge's name. Fewer people know his name, but he's going to be there to show this pilot and really talk about comedy writing and maybe show a little sneak, a little film that has not been shown publicly much, if ever. So that's going to be a really neat experience too. But we have over 80 guests. So they will be at many, many, many films throughout the festival.
That's fantastic. Our guest tonight is Dr. Susan Kearns. She is the executive director of Milwaukee Film. The Milwaukee Film Festival starts on Thursday, goes until the 30th, and there are still tickets available for some shows. You can go to mkefilm.org to check out the lineup. And if you want to possibly win an all-access pass, text in the word SHORT right now, SHORT, for your chance to win an all-access pass. Great, great value. You can see shows that are sold out because you have that access pass. Susan, you are the executive director of Milwaukee Film, and I think I asked you this before, but I want to reiterate the point. The film festival is 2 weeks, and it's great, and it's what you are known for, but Milwaukee Film is a year-round program, a year-round company, and what do you say to people when what is the value of joining Milwaukee Film, buying a membership and being part of that family, both within the festival and outside of it as well?
Yeah, so during the festival, we actually have a secret member screening that is not open to people who have the all access pass. You have to be a member. So that is one perk. We don't tell anybody what it is until they're actually in the theater. So that's one thing that our members really look forward to every year during the festival. But for our Milwaukee Film members, we have at least one free screening every month of the year. And so it's not just a great way to support Milwaukee Film and kind of, help ensure our survival, but it's also really rewarding in that you get discounts on tickets and concessions and merch, and you get this free screening every month. So truthfully, it pays for itself very, very quickly if you're a person who goes to the movies at all routinely. And it's honestly just a great community of people. We know folks who are members who, they meet each other once, they go have coffee, they become friends over time. It's just a really lovely community.
That's a great answer. And I want to piggyback on that. If you haven't been to a film festival, I highly recommend you go. The movies are one thing, but it's the community you build while you're there, talking to people in a rush line or as you're going in and about other films you've seen and hearing from other festival goers what they've seen. What would you say to someone, Susan, who has not been to a film festival? What is obviously the movies are great. Would it be you can watch movies with other people, other serious movie watchers? It's a different kind of crowd, right?
It is a different kind of crowd. I think one thing I would say to people is try not to be intimidated by it, because I think sometimes people who haven't been to a festival feel like they have to do a lot of planning or something like that. And it's really as easy as going to the website, finding a movie that you think sounds interesting, buying that ticket and showing up. You'll kind of learn the rest as you're there. So I hope that people don't feel like there's a barrier to entry for this. But the other thing is exactly what you said. Everybody who's there wants to be there to celebrate movies. So you talk to people in line, you meet people. Also, a lot of these movies never go to streaming. They never come back to the theaters. So this might be the one chance that you ever have to see this film, not just on a big screen, but ever. The international films a lot of times just aren't getting international distribution outside of festivals anymore. So we will have some films that will just, you'll see it and you'll try to tell your friend about it and they'll go and look for it and be like, I missed it. So you don't want to miss out.
Great point.
So, and you said that this is your second year as the executive director of the film of Milwaukee Film. Is there a movie? Of course, there are a lot of movies out there that are very not well known or not come out. But is there a classic movie that you would love to bring to a fest one of these days? Where you're like, all right, this year is locked, we're set, our lineup is good, but next year I want to work on this movie, because you have a lot of fun movies. Is there one in your mind where I want to bring that here because I want us to have a blast at midnight, or close it out, or something that's just on your list of films to procure for an upcoming festival?
Oh, that's a great question. One of the things that I love weird silent movies, and so I have like a list of silent movies that I would love to find an excuse to show to an audience, with a live score. So one of my favorite films is a Todd Browning film called The Unholy Three, where it is Lon Chaney is a ventriloquist, and then he's friends with a strong man and also friends with a little person, and they basically dress up and rob people. Um, and then eventually there's a monkey, and anyway, but it's very hard to describe, and it is not one of the heavy hitters in the silent film world, so it's not one that you hear about over and over. I would love to be able to bring something weird like that to the big screen for audiences, because it is unforgettable. If you see it, you will never forget that you have seen this movie.
That is outstanding. I also would encourage people, like we were talking about before, go see short films, because there are some short that usually they're in a block, and those are movies you'll never be able to stream. Most likely, occasionally one of the streaming platforms has a shorts thing or whatever, but some of them are so well done. I don't know how they get made. I don't know how filmmakers go to people and say, give me money to make a short film no one is ever going to see, but they do, and they're outstanding. Before we let you leave, before you get out of here and tidy up the place, can you tell us about this Big Cheese documentary? This sounds really fun, and it's very Wisconsin too.
Yeah, so this is a competition documentary about cheesemongers, the competitive world of cheesemongering. And this is one that we were not expecting. We didn't know that it was necessarily out there in the world, saw it, and we're like, this is a perfect movie for Wisconsin. We are also very excited to be partnering with Wisconsin Dairy. So we will have cheese samples at all of the screenings. And we also have one of the folks from the film who will be there to talk about not just the world of cheesemongering, and but also the process of making this film, and just he is a character in every sense of the word. So anyway, we're really excited. That's going to be a ton of fun.
Nice.
I can't think of a more fun competition program in any facet that involves cheese. That would be
I would love it. I'm sure the experts were like, you're not taking this seriously. I'm like, this is free food. This is what I'm taking seriously. Thank you very much.
Susan, as always, you're so much fun. Thank you. You're informative. This is great. Best of luck with this year's festival. We'll be keeping an eye on it. Hopefully we'll be there. And it just sounds like an absolute blast, like it is every year. Thank you so much, and break a leg.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Always. All right, folks, if you want to text in that keyword one more time, here it is. Short, S-H-O-R-T. That is the word to text in on the app that you could if you text it in, you could be the winner of an all access guest pass to the past. Greg, I said past.
Huh?
Guest pass to this year's Milwaukee Film Festival, an outstanding value. Short, S-H-O-R-T. Text that in now on the app. We are coming right back here on Nite Lite for the Nightcap. This is Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach on the Civic Media Network.
It's time to wind it down. This is Nightcap with Greg and Pete.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. You can always be part of the conversation, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. Hello, everybody on the live stream right now. There are so many people. We really appreciate you being a part of the show, be a part of the party. And just as a reminder, folks, you still have a few minutes. If you haven't already, text in the word short, S-H-O-R-T, for your chance to win. Oh, yes. Sorry. I thought it was Wednesday. Sorry. I just had a moment right there, Pete, where I just stopped. I had to reboot. I'm like, wait a minute. Have I been saying the wrong word the whole time? No. Today is Tuesday. The word is short, S-H-O-R-T. Your chance to win all access pass to the Milwaukee Film Festival 2026. My whole brain just melted and rebuilt itself in the matter of like 2.5 seconds.
And that when there's a $600 plus bonus prize there, that's a lot. So I'm glad you paused and you got it right.
Oh my gosh. You did it. Oh my gosh. Well, tomorrow we'll be back here on Wednesday, not only with another keyword, the final keyword, because the whole thing starts on Thursday. So we'll have one last chance for you to possibly win an all-access pass to the 2026 Milwaukee Film Festival. Also, we'll be talking to Logan Wargy. I think I'm saying that right?
Logan Rogie.
Yeah. Rogie, my apologies. Senior Communications Specialist for Travel Wisconsin, talking about all the great stuff we'll be seeing in the spring and summertime. Wisconsin's a gorgeous place. Wonderful place to visit. Take a vacation. Even if you live in Wisconsin, visit Wisconsin. I'm not being paid by anyone to say that, but that's going to be tomorrow's show. And also, do not forget, our Nite Lite Movie Club selection is When Harry Met Sally, the rom-com classic. We'll be talking about that film in the second hour on Thursday. So watch it, catch up, be part of the conversation. Do we have any other last-minute text messages or Facebook comments on our question, what's your favorite game show?
We do. We actually have Anna from Madison. It says, "Hi, Pete, Greg, and Dom. My favorite game show is Jeopardy." Very good answer. On April 10th, 2008, I saw a taping of the Jeopardy College Championship at the Kohl Center in Madison, of course, hosted by Alex Trebek. It was exciting to see the game in person. That's really cool.
Nice.
That is really
nice.
Really cool.
Yes. I love that. I love that so much.
And then we also have a few from John Murray in Madison. Says, "Sorry, fellas, just got back from a time travel and sent an old message." That was a little bit ago. Not exactly on tonight's topic.
Is he referring to the Sanford and Son? Because if he did, he had no way of knowing we were going to use that as bumper music when he sent that text.
Yeah, that was,
is he traveling back in time, or is he a fortune teller? You know, John from Madison. Just great stuff. All right.
One more from John.
Here we go. What are you saying?
Oh my God, gotta be the butt bob, and then the needle scratched all the way across the record. Saw it live and died laughing. Wow.
I don't get that.
I don't know what that means. Okay, cool. But
maybe
I love that
he
he is
Kohl
having
Center with Anna.
Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. I have no idea. But I love that John's having fun. I love that John's listening and having fun with us tonight. Are there any other Facebook comments we have before we get out of here, Pete?
No, we're good on Facebook comments.
There we go. All right.
I do have Alex Trebek was in the same Little League my son was in. There was a few celebrities in there. And I was
Wait. Yeah. Alex Trebek was in the same Little League as your son. How old's your son? Is your son 75? Oh, gotcha. Sorry. Okay.
So,
gotcha. Okay.
But I was like I had heard he could be very arrogant. Some of the other guys you just talked to because they're just dads, but him I never did. I was kind of not intimidated that he's so brilliant because he's got the answers in front of him, but just that he was going to give me attitude.
And you never knew because you chose to believe the gossip than find the truth, Pete.
And what if he was, though? Then what happened?
But what if he wasn't?
Well, he wasn't because I didn't try, like you said.
There you go. So we'll never know.
I could have got him in a headlock.
Never, ever know. So you're thinking of Bob Barker.
No, he is too, though. What is with these game show hosts that are so arrogant?
Ask Adam Sandler. He brings out all the, I don't know. I have no idea. But that's too bad. I wish you would have met him. That'd been a great story.
I'm okay with it, honestly.
Okay. All right. Well, other than that, Pete, what did you learn tonight?
Well, I learned that I need to be diligent with my flossing and brushing. I brush every night. I probably floss 5 to 6 times a week, but there are nights I get lazy. But after Dr. Chi was here, that's what a great guest does. They just reiterate what you need to do. And he's the guy. He's the scientist. He knows it. I'm going to follow science and Dr. Chi.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Dom, what did you learn?
I think I now know the lineup to the Milwaukee Film Festival. I didn't before, and now I know the full lineup. I think I'm ready to go, and I
love that. Love that. Love
See
that.
the cheese movie.
The cheese movie. Pete's in the pocket of big cheese right now. He's just like
in a lot of pockets.
Oh boy. Let's see. What did I learn tonight? Thanks for asking, guys. What did I learn? Just kidding. Just kidding. No, I learned more about the Milwaukee Film Festival. I really want to go out and see it. I really would love to see some movies. I think it's always a great time. But also, that question I asked Dr. Chi was in the very end was for me. I want to go back to the dentist, and I'm just very nervous about what might happen, or just when you get in front of a doctor who you don't get along with or you don't vibe with and they judge you, or I want to go somewhere where I feel comfortable and I get my teeth worked on and get myself back to that twice a year cleaning. And if I need more, I need more, but I just got to get off my butt and actually do it. And that's what I'm going to do this year. Ha-ha! Goals.
Is it that or the drill? I don't like drills or even that crazy brush when you get your teeth clean. That sound is so horrible in your mouth. That's worse than any dentist I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, that's just something I'm going to have to deal with. It's going to suck if it has to happen, but that's my doing. And I got to make sure that I just one step at a time.
If you want, Greg, I'll take a look. It'll save you some money.
Okay.
Just think about it. Dom and I will give you the once over.
Oh, no, Dom's a part of this too. Great. Awesome. Yes. Not weird at all. Well, while I'm mulling that over, I'll take time to thank Dominic, thank Tucker, thank Engineering and Traffic for all the work they do. They make sure these microphones actually work when we sit down and talk. Thanks to everyone who called, texted, everyone who left a comment on the live stream. Thank you very much for being a part of this. Without you, there is no us. And then, of course, Dr. Donald Chi and Dr. Susan Kearns, very doctor heavy tonight, for being our guest this evening. Again, we are talking to Logan from Travel Wisconsin tomorrow, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be back tomorrow for more great fun news. You name it, it's here. Pete, say goodnight to the people.
Good night, Wisconsin.
We're up all night to get